Your energy is your currency. How are you actually spending your currency? Because a lot of people want to go and spend it on the wrong things. And if it were related to money, the same way you understand money, you would see some of the stupidity in a lot of people's behavior around you. I could see this in myself. Like, this is something that is huge to realize to change things in your life. And I'm going to break it down for you in a way that makes so much sense so you learn how to invest your spiritual energy back in so you can get a bigger reward. That's ultimately the game that we're playing as spiritual beings living a human experience. I really thought that was something that would take people back enough to get aware of this, that your energy is your spiritual currency that you're spending on this earth. Awareness and energy and consciousness, that's all one currency you get to spend. Now, the funny thing about it is you never really know how much you have left, how much time you have left. Those things are not made aware to you, so you're not really sure where that line is. And it's the same thing if you don't really know how much is in your purse or your wallet. You'll spend and then realize when it's gone, oh no, there's nothing left. And that's what happens energetically that we kind of need to become aware of. We need to make a budget spiritually to know how much energy we're going to spend. Now, for those of you who are just hopping on for the first time, I don't make spirituality esoteric. In fact, I do the opposite. I make it practical and put it in ways that you can apply in your day-to-day life, even if you're not spiritual, so that you can start impacting your life in a big way. And for those of you who are spiritual, start manifesting your dreams. If that's something you don't want to miss out on, make sure to hit the subscribe button and put your notifications on so you don't miss another upload like this. So this is how it looks, right? Is we have these things as a budget in normal life. We have to pay certain things. We should really pay as soon as possible. We can pay for these things and we really want to pay for these things. Now, that's just normal life. Have to pay means if I don't do it right now, things are going to change. So bills, your medical aid, your insurance. If something happens without that being paid now, there's big problems that will be caused from that. Next is like, oh, okay, I should pay for groceries, but you could go and get a meal. I should pay for gas, but I still have 50 miles. It's if you don't sort out soon, will also start having an impact on your life. Then we get into what you want to invest in. Things like, okay, well, there's this event coming up with friends that I want to go see. I want to go bowling. I want to have fun. Those things you can pay for. It's not something you have to pay for. It's something that you want to do. You know, it's on the other end of that. And lastly is like cool, luxury things, jewelry, vacation, nice cars, things that require a certain financial stepping stone to get to. Now, this is what happens in everyone's life normally. Responsible people are not going to run to this. I'm sure you as a person watching this who kind of gets what it would be to be responsible says, let's sort out the necessities. Then we can look at what we have left to play with on the fun side. But spiritually, nobody does this. Spiritually, nobody does the responsible thing. They run straight to what they want to do. And they want to satisfy their ego and give attention to everybody else. I'll be there for my friend, even though I don't have the energetic capacity to be happy right now. I'm going to run and solve someone else's problem. I'm going to onboard everyone else's emotions for their behavior. I was really bad at this. Like when I went through my breakup with my girlfriend, we're now back together, but when I went through my breakup with her, it was pure hell. I was doing so much that was ruining the relationship because of insecurity and a lack of self-worth. And she was doing things that were only making that worse because that's what I was investing in energetically. So that's the manifestation and reflection I got back. And what it was I kept running to her needs. She needed to finish school, so I threw all of my free time away to help her study. She wanted to go out and do something, so I threw all the time with my family away and ran to be by her side. It was always at my cost. I ran and did it, and I was bitterly unhappy. And then she did things that broke my trust, that put us both in a bad situation. She's really not a bad person. Everyone makes mistakes. I made my own mistakes. We're a really great place now. But what happened was I onboarded the emotional consequence of her behavior. And that is something that I might want to do if I'm completely stable. The same thing. If you're financially stable, go on the vacation. Go and have luxurious first class tickets. If these are all sorted and way more than catered for, this is fine. But the same way, you don't want to do this if you can't do that. It's the same thing spiritually. You don't want to satisfy your ego until you can take care of yourself. These things are absolutely what you have to take care of spiritually, and how you spend and invest the spiritual currency of energy, of awareness, of consciousness, so that you get a good return and these things happen automatically. Because you cannot manifest if this isn't taken care of. You cannot manifest a conscious life if you're not conscious of yourself. So you can't consciously choose what you manifest. Same thing goes for like doing shadow work. That part is not really pleasant. It's not something you have to do right away and all the time, but something that needs attention. Once you remove those blockages, like this, you can start to enjoy the other side of the scale. Then you can give someone attention because you're actually going to add value because you found your authentic self. And too many people are miserable and depressed and down in the dumps because they're going and invest their spiritual energy in things they actually can't spiritually afford. And spiritual affordability is something we need to consider. So the next big question is probably going to be, well, how do I then increase my spiritual bank account number? How do I have a nice fat spiritual bank account? Once you do that, by the way, the other bank account fills up too. It's completely like for like. You manifest the spiritual reflection through the natural world. So this is all a reflection of your internal state of self. If you there can't take care of yourself, aren't aware of yourself, but running to solve everyone's problems and get yourself ego satisfaction, it's like going into spiritual debt. And you will have to feel the emotional consequence of that decision. So to build this spiritual bank account and really start getting those numbers in is to do the hard work. This is the best part. In the real world, in the 3D, when you invest in these things that are necessities, it brings you nothing in return. Nothing immediately. These are fail safes. But when you do them in the spiritual world, that is the investment that's going to bear a good result. So it works the other way around. And that's what this is down here, right? Ego wants to have certain things because those things are going to give them the permission to do the things they want to do, and ultimately then they can be the version of the person they want to be. Spirituality is opposite. You have to be the version of you want to ultimately be now with what you have, and that will then allow you to do what that version of you does, and that combination will allow you to have what that version of you has. That's the easy way. Or you can do it the hard way. I'm going to work 40 hours a week for 40 years of my life and retire on 40% of what I've created for this company. That's one way to do it. Then you can push for that nice car, the luxury holidays, be exhausted, not even get to enjoy it, and only do that once your kids have kids. That's one option. Or you can do it this way and say, I'm going to be emotionally the version of me that I want to be. So I'm going to emotionally be the exceptionally wealthy individual. I'm going to emotionally be fulfilled. I'm going to be happy with what I've got. I'm going to be grateful. Think about it. When you have everything that you've ever wanted, the only emotion you can give back to it is gratitude. I'm thankful. I finally got it. So if you onboard that gratitude now, that is being the version of you that you want to be. Onboard the emotions of that future version of you that you want to hold on to. So that feeling becomes your current state of self. That starts giving you the opportunities to do what that version does, and that will allow you to have what that version has. The main difference between these two things is taking the value out of the world. So things, people, places, circumstance, time. You take the value out of that and you put the value in how it makes you feel. That's the difference. You take the value out of the world and put it in yourself, into the feeling you get to experience. And let me give you a really good reason why you want to do this. Because when it comes to imagining how great something is going to be, how great these things will be in your life, the reality of the situation is your imagination is far better at supplying joy and enjoyment than the situation ever does. How many times have you gotten things that you really wanted, you still use and appreciate that much to this day? It's not possible. Your ego gets in the way and goes, well, I could have the next model. I could have something better. So the true enjoyment actually happens within. And what I'm saying is take the value out of the world and put it into that imaginative joy and say, well, this is where I experience the best version of joy. I'm not going to place it in the world. And that's how you step out of the trap of ego and being in this world. And you can go into like the real enjoyment. That is to put awareness onto yourself, to meditate, to take time to consider yourself and balance how you feel, because that's where value really is. Then you can do the work and deal with where the ego is coming back. It will always come in the shadow, never where your conscious awareness is, because then it can't trick you. And ego is a trickster. It comes in and it's a manipulator, and it comes into the dark areas where you can't see it. And as soon as you turn your awareness onto it, it's gone. That's what we call shadow work. If you invest in those places, it will give you the abundance of awareness and consciousness that you need to have the luxury side, to have good relationships with people where you're not being abused and taken advantage of, to have cool things. Because once you're at that high state of self and you maintain that, you're manifesting it in. And here's how it works, how manifestation essentially works in a nutshell. You get in your car and you want to listen to the radio station. So you turn the frequency knob back when cars were a little bit older, we didn't have like touchscreens, but we could turn the knob to get to the right frequency, and that would then give us that radio station's music or talk show. But if you're going to turn the dial to sadness, negativity, I wish I had, it will reflect a world and a radio station that says, this is the one where you wish you had. This is the one where you really want to get. That's the world you're asking for by investing in the ego, by investing in this, by making this everything. If value moves from here to here, your whole life changes. That's changing the frequency to another radio station. And if you go, I'm fulfilled, I'm happy, I live life to the utmost enjoyment I possibly could at every moment, all the time, you're saying to the universe, I'm fulfilled. Then it goes, okay, here are the things that look like fulfillment to you through that feeling. And that will be all of these things, which will be your ego satisfaction. So the best way to have all of your budgeting done is to deal with this before anything else. You deal with this. Obviously, this is a natural human thing you got to do. Deal with this first. Let this grow, because that will naturally take care of the rest. That's just how spiritual currency works. I wonder if this is interesting to you. Let me know in the comments what you think of this analogy to explain spirituality and the energy of awareness as a currency. Do you think it's a good way to look at it? Does it help frame it in a practical way where you know to take care of yourself is like the thing you got to do? I'm just curious to know your thoughts. Leave them in the comment section. I respond to every single comment. You can go and take a look at all of my other videos. Every comment and each response to those comments I've responded to. So I will speak to every individual who sends a comment on this video. But that was a curious thing for me because I was trying to figure out a way to express the importance of energy and commitment to self. And I was like, it's actually a currency. You have to spend it. But if you don't spend it on you, it doesn't come back. And so that leads me to this really awesome phrase that I thought of a while ago, but it's helped me so much and I want to share it with you. We always hear, treat others the way you wish to be treated. And that's partly true. But more than that, treat yourself the way you want others to treat you. Because then you know what you will and won't tolerate. And I think that should be step one. If you're treating yourself the way you want to be treated, you won't tolerate anyone else not meeting that standard. If you don't swear about yourself and talk down about yourself, and other people do, you'll say, you're not part of that, you don't have the right to do that, piss off. And that will be the natural reaction. Those people won't even be able to enter your energy. And if you're busy treating others the way you want to be treated, you're saying there's an ego gain at the end of this tunnel. Oh, well, if I treat them nice, I can watch and monitor that this is going to be reciprocal. If you're waiting for reciprocation from things, people, and places, you are down the wrong path. You have to be authentic to you, and that should be enough. Once you do that, the rest of the world starts to bend around you, literally. Start to manifest a different reality. I hope this video has helped. I hope it's highlighted some of the most important points about investing in yourself energetically. I really enjoyed making this video. And like I said, guys, if you have any specific questions or comments that you want to share, leave them in the comments below. I will get back to each and every one of you. And if you don't want to miss another video where I make spirituality practical so that you can apply it to manifest your dreams, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this content, leave it a like. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you all in the next video and in the comments section. Mad love and light.